Hello students, today I am going to deal with management as a profession. See, the task of manager has become unique. As a result of these developments, the management has reached a stage where everything is to be managed professionally. A profession may be defined as an occupation that requires specialized knowledge and intensive academic preparations. That means profession refers to rendering specialized service requiring personal expertise or skills on payment of fees. For example, services of lawyers, physician, accountant, an engineer. Profession needs membership to a professional body and governed by professional code of conduct. For instance, to be able to practice in India, lawyers have to be become members of the bar council which regulates and controls their activities. Take one more example. To become a chartered accountant in India, a candidate has to clear a specified examination conducted by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that is ICAI. Now, what are the features of a profession? Features of profession. Here, the first one, specialized knowledge. A profession must have a systematized body of knowledge that can be used for development of professionals. Every professional must make deliberate efforts to acquire expertise in the principles and techniques. The second one, formal education and training. To practice a profession, a person should have formal education and training. There are a number of institutions and universities to impart education and training for a profession. No one can practice a profession without going through a prescribed course. So here one example given: MBA, Master of Business Administration, CA, Chartered Accountant, like that. Next, second feature, that is code of conduct. That means profession requires code of conduct. Members of a profession have to be abide by a code of conduct which contains rules and regulations, norms of honesty, integrity, and special ethics. Apart from these, this profession has a service motive. The basic motive of a profession is to serve their clients' interest by rendering dedicated and committed services. Next concept, that is levels of management. Levels of management. See students, on this you will get a question, that is in practical section. There are three levels of management, that is top level management, mid level management, and lower level management. So why these have been made? The answer for this: every individual in the organization is responsible for successful completion of a particular task. The authority responsibility relationship binds individuals as a superiors and subordinates and gives rise to different levels in an organization. So, generally, there are three levels in the hierarchy of an organization, that is, levels of management. As I already told you, that is top level management to mid level management to and lower level management. This lower level management is also called by different names, that is supervisory level of management to or operative level of management. So you can see this triangular chart. Now, what do you mean by this top level management? And what is the task of this top level management too? And what it does? The top level management people are responsible for the welfare and survival of the organization. They analyze the business environment and its implications for the survival of the firm. They formulate overall organizational goals and strategies for their achievement. They are responsible for the activities of the business and its impact on the society. The top level management consists of chairman, CEO, that is Chief Executive Officer, Managing Director, President, Chief Operating Officer, and Vice President. The second level of management, that is a mid-level management. It is the link between top level management and lower level management. Mid-level management is responsible for implementing and controlling plans and strategies developed by top level management. The main task of mid-level management is to carry out the plans formulated by the top level management. For this, they need to interpret the policies framed by the top level management, ensure that their department has the necessary personnel, assign necessary duties and responsibilities to them, motivate them to achieve desired objectives. The mid-level management consists of departmental heads like purchase manager, production manager, marketing manager, finance manager, HRD manager. Third one, that is lower level management. Their authority and responsibility is limited according to the plans drawn by the top level management. Lower level management interacts with the actual workforce and pass on instructions of the mid-level management to the workers. Through their efforts, quality of output is maintained, wastage of materials is minimized, and safety standards are maintained. The lower level management consists of foremen, supervisors, inspectors, office superintendents, section in charges. This is what about levels of management. So, and the question asked, you have to prepare this triangular and mark top level management. In the top level management, you have to mention the positions, that is chairman, CEO, MD, president. Then mid-level management, where departmental heads like purchase manager, production manager, marketing manager, finance manager. Then lower level management, the positions you have to mention like supervisors, foremen, inspectors. So this comes usually for 5 marks in section E. This is the practical questions. After studying levels of management, the next concept, that is coordination. Next concept, coordination. Coordination is the force that binds all all the other functions of management. It is the common thread that runs through all activities such as purchase, production, marketing, and finance to ensure continuity in the working of the organization. Coordination is the implicit and inherent in all the functions of an organization. It involves synchronization of the different actions of the various units of an organization. So the definition here it is according to McFarland, coordination is the process whereby an executive develops an orderly pattern of group efforts among his subordinates and secures unity of action in the pursuit of a common purpose. So this is what included in the meaning just a while ago I told you. This coordination has some characteristics. So now we are going to study what are the different characteristics of coordination. First one, coordination integrates group efforts. Coordination unifies diverse interests into purposeful work activity. It gives a common focus to group effort to ensure that performance is as it was planned and scheduled. That is, it unifies diverse interest into purposeful work activity. The second one, coordination is all pervasive function. Coordination is required at all levels of management, that is top level management, mid level management and lower level management. So it is required at all levels of management due to the interdependent nature of activities of the various departments. What are these various departments? For instance, purchase department, production department, marketing department and finance departments. It integrates the efforts of different departments and different levels. Third one, coordination ensures unity of action. The purpose of coordination is to secure unity of action in the realization of a common purpose. It acts as the binding force between departments and ensures that all actions is aimed at achieving the goals of the organization. Next one, coordination is the responsibility of all managers. Coordination is the function of every manager in the organization. That is. Next one, coordination is a deliberative function. All managers are required to coordinate deliberately the efforts of different people to achieve common objectives of the organization. That is, a manager has to coordinate the efforts of different people in a conscious and deliberate manner. Cooperation in the absence of coordination may lead to dissatisfaction among employees. After knowing the features of coordination, now we are going to study importance of coordination. What are the importance of coordination? So some of the points already included in these features of the coordination. The primary reason for coordination is that departments and individuals in the organization are interdependent, that is, they depend on each other for formation and for information and resources to perform their respective activities. For example, in an organization, purchase department, production department, marketing department, and finance department. See, the production department activities are depend upon the purchase department. Similarly, the marketing department activities are depend on a production department. That means without production there is no marketing. Similarly, the finance department activities are depend on what? Marketing department, because if there is no marketing, then there is no question about collection of revenues. So this is. Now we are going to study what are the importance. Here the first one, growth in size. So we already understood that dynamism is the rule of nature. Things are going changing constantly. So organization has to modify its production, its sales, its branches. It has to anticipate with the ongoing demand for its product and service in the market. For that, it has to go for some plans, some strategies. The first importance, growth in size. As organizations grow in size, the number of people employed by the organization also increases. At the same time, it may become difficult to integrate their efforts and activities. It is important to harmonize individual goals and organizational goals through coordination. The second importance, functional differentiation. Functions of an organization are divided into departments, divisions, and various sections. All these departments may have their own style of working. The activity of each department needs to be focused on attainment of common organizational goals. Third one, specialization. The organizations need to employ a number of specialists. Specialists usually think that they only are qualified to evaluate, judge, and decide according to their professional criteria. So these are what about importance of coordination. Thank you.